requesting the Vice Chancellor of Green University of Bangladesh, Professor Dr. Mohammad Golam Samdani Fakir, sir, to share his thoughts on this keynote speech.
Okay, thank you very much for giving this opportunity. I was carefully listening the speeches given by Professor Hop, and I know that it was very much insightful and thoughtful sharing of listening from him is really insightful for me. And I'm personally interested to know a little more from him that what is the situation of philanthropic activities that is taking place globally because of the COVID-19 and how it has really impacted on the people's mind for moving forward in philanthropic activities. Professor Bob, if you'd like to add a little bit on this, and how do you see that, how the philanthropic activities globally taking place, especially in the developing countries? And I know that I was also in the span of several years in the United States. I was staying in Vermont, Battleboro, and I was teaching in a school for international training for 4 years. So I know that the US people and citizens, they are very much in favor of creating a non-profit organization and provide support to others. You already indicated there are 2 million non-profit organizations working in United States. And so this is my question, that do you think that the COVID-19 has really impacted on the flow of philanthropy activities globally?
Right, yes, it has. You know, a lot of things have stopped here in the United States. A lot of organizations have not been able to raise any money because nobody's giving any money. A lot of people are staying home, the children are staying home. So obviously thousands and thousands of organizations have just stopped. And however, we are getting used to it by now, and we are figuring out a new way of life. And so our organizations are coming back. I'm putting on a big party coming up here December the 3rd. I invite all of you to come. It's a big celebration of one man who's a philanthropist, who nobody thanks him for all the things that he does. And it's called the unsung hero, the hero that nobody has actually gotten together and said, thank you for what you do. So I'm doing a big party for it, and everybody's ready for a big party. So I think that now's the time to let everybody come out and put your masks on and stay distanced from each other, get your shots, and let's get on with it. Let's get on with the program. Let's get on with life. The people who are dying in the United States are the ones who refuse to take a shot. So that's part of it. I wanted to say something else about, you know, I had to learn about anthropology and sociology because I don't have degrees in anthropology or sociology. And that's what you all do. That's you actually research cultures and see what they're all about. And then you try to understand the people in sociology that live in those cultures. So where does philanthropy fit in? And that's what I think you probably are thinking. Well, philanthropy is a behavior. And you study in sociology behaviors. And in every society, you have philanthropists who are doing good things for others. But in every society, you have people who aren't. So how do we take the good people who are doing the good and infect the people who aren't, to let them understand and all of a sudden experience this new behavior? It's not a new behavior, but this behavior of giving, this behavior of philanthropy. So philanthropy fits in really fine. And I would love to see in your university in sociology courses that have to do with this topic.
In terms of, you know, promoting philanthropic activities, the mindset is also an important factor. So what do you think, how can really create the mindset of the people so that they can come forward to help others?
Right. I do think it's a mindset. And that's why we have to teach children, because their minds aren't made up yet. So I had this little girl say, if you teach a child under the age of 12 years old to be a giver, you will have a giver for life. If you teach a child to volunteer under the age of 12, you'll have a volunteer for life. If you teach a child under the age of 12 to be a bad kid, they're going to be a bad kid for life. Maybe, I don't know. But I think that we need to start programs in elementary schools. And I think every week we take college students into a classroom in Bangladesh to the elementary schools, and we follow them for 2 or 3 years, teaching them giving. We teach them reading, writing, arithmetic, history, and giving, and philanthropy, so that they can get this attitude, this behavior of being something better than they are.
In the university, we maintain 3 cardinal principles for preparing our students. The first principle, we believe that our students, they need to be academically competent, but at the same time, we also believe that they need to be ethically driven. And the third point we call they need to be socially responsive citizens of the country. Now, in order to really prepare their mindset to be philanthropists, we believe that socially responsiveness is also most important. What is your feeling on these 3 principles that we are practicing in Green University?
Well, I don't know Green University yet as well as I want to. That's why I want to come and see, and I want to sit in your classes and hear what you're teaching your students and what your students are responding and how they're responding. But when I talk to students in my class from Bangladesh last summer, I had a couple of students who decided they wanted to build houses made out of plastic bottles that you throw into the rivers. And so he showed me how he was making plastic bottles with a little bit of cement and plastic bottles that he's picking up out of the trash to make a house. Why can't we do something like that? Well, I think that you have the interest from the students. They just need to be empowered. They need to have a program. They need to sign up to how to innovate ways to take our garbage and make it something that we can use or reuse, like the house that I'm just telling you. And I think Bangladesh is doing some very good things, as I understand it. I have been to some innovation conferences before, and boy, there's some great architectural activities and ideas about using green and using panels of solar for houses and companies. You all are doing that already. Let's just do more of it. We're doing some of it too. Let's just do more of it.
Thank you very much from my side. Aruna, there are other questions most probably from other participants. You can take those questions too. Thank you very much once again, Professor Bob. It was really a great honor for me to get the chance to talk with you, at least virtually. Thank you.
Dear Bob Hopkins, we have some questions for you. We can see on the chat box that.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
What's the question?
Sir, how can we establish the alternative options for global philanthropy? It was asked by Dr. Mahmoud Rahimullah Mia.
And what does he want to know? He wants to know what?
How can we establish the alternative options for global philanthropy?
Well, I guess you can bring me to Bangladesh and let me start.
Okay, so there is another question.
Okay, I'm sorry, I was muted. I was muted, so he didn't hear my question here. And bring me to Bangladesh and let me come and let's talk about it and see if we can't figure out how to solve some problems here. And so I think that's what we do. We gather people together from the world, bring them to Bangladesh and have a conference and talk about what are we going to do next and how are we going to get our children involved in this topic. So I just think it's more conferences like this. And by the way, next week we have an international conference for children, and it's called Youth in Philanthropy, and it's a conference that we're having next Saturday, the 30th of October, internationally. And if we could get children from Bangladesh to get online and to be part of this experience with us, I can give information to you all, and you could actually get some of your college students to come and learn what we're talking about, because then we'll take the college students and have them go teach the children.
Thank you, Bob, for the answer. Now I'm requesting the chairperson of the Department of English, Mr. Wajid Kabir sir, to share his thoughts shortly, I guess.
This dear madam, we are our next keynote session at the same Zoom link. I think we need to go quickly.
Here, in this, I'd like to drag attention for just 1 minute. There is one emergency declaration. We have another parallel session from 11:15, I guess, today. And the parallel session's keynote speaker was Dr. Golam Samdani
I asked
from American University of Iraq, Sulaimani, but we have come to know this morning, few minutes ago, that he is severely affected by COVID-19 and he is not able to take today's session. So I think we can take some more minutes for Professor Bob Hopkins, and we can do the question and answer session a bit more longer. So have a wonderful time with dear Professor Bob Hopkins. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
So I'm heading back to where I was. I'm again requesting the chairperson of the Department of English, Mr. Wajid Kabir sir, to share his thoughts.
Okay, thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Bob. I with rapt attention, I was listening your lecture on philanthropy. The other day I was studying August Koth, the 19th century French philanthropist, because this man has tremendous influence on some of the literary figures of the 19th century English novel. And that's why I was studying it. There were so many points of difficulties and ununderstandable points there. And from your discussion, some of the points are very much clear to me. And my question is not philosophy an orphan in a society of consumerism? Is not philanthropy an orphan? Or in simple language, I can ask you, are they reconcilable? Philanthropy and consumerism, can they be reconciled?
Okay, I'm sorry,
Okay,
I don't
Bob.
understand the question. Will
Will I repeat it? Will I repeat it?
Yes, please repeat that.
Okay, thank you. Philanthropy and consumerism.
Consumerism. Okay. Yeah.
Can they be reconciled? Can they be reconciled?
Yeah.
This is my question.
Yeah, I don't think that consumerism is going to be hurt by introducing philanthropy and giving back. I think everybody has to take care of themselves. I have to buy my hats. I have to buy my horses. I have to buy my vehicles. I've got a family. I have to take care of them. That's what you do, number one. But you always have extra money. You always have extra time. If you don't have extra time, you make it. You've got to give back. And when you give back, you get more. So it's a rotating kind of a thing. The more you give, the more you get. And so I think you're helping consumerism by doing philanthropy.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know that was an answer to your question.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum, Professor Bob. This is Faruqi. My name is little twisting, for the philanthropist, for your kind information, our Vice Chancellor, sir, Professor Dr. Golam Samdani Fakir, he also came back from the United States. I myself is a graduate from the bachelor, master's, and PhD. And I've been in the States back in 1988 till 1999, 10 years straight. So I also came back to the country, and actually this is probably the biggest philanthropy you can do. But my brothers, they went to the United States and they stay back there. So there are different, philosophy of life that people wants to get always the happiness, and happiness consists in contentment. It doesn't really matter which part of the world you are. It is actually your heart, what it feels. But there are a lot of, the foreign graduates coming back to Bangladesh nowadays, and they're trying to establish their philosophy, the good part of the United States. The good things that I have achieved in the United States, I like to implement here as of with our cultural, values and the acceptance. So we would love to tell you that the Green University, we are green in mind and heart. Our Vice Chancellor is also green like you. And probably you may ride a horse and he rides the rickshaw. That's what we are asking, the three-wheelers. So we are all here. That's true. The Bangladesh has the tremendous, economic growth, and the other stuffs are coming up because of this, that the people are brain drained. It's getting little brain gain nowadays, and little push from the West, the good philosophy, like people like you come to and make a, motivation. That will be a great. So I just wanted to share with you that we are, a lot of people are here, that we came back from the United States back in 1980s and serving the country. This is probably one of the biggest philanthropy that you can probably regard. I don't know.
I think it's good.
Thank you, sir. It's just a sharing with you.
I agree. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm very much involved with the Nepali Society here in Dallas, because we have a lot of people from Nepal. We don't have a lot of people from Bangladesh, but we do from Nepal. And I'm part of that group of getting students involved in doing some things that helps Nepal, because they want to go back, but they also want to send money back, et cetera, et cetera. So they do a walk for Nepal. And so what I wanted to do was to get the Bangladeshi people here, the kids, the students, to do a walk for Bangladesh, and a walk for WISH. That is the organization of Mrs. Chowdhury, Dr. Chowdhury's wife, who has this deal. I couldn't get that to happen because there wasn't a lot of interest, but there was a lot of interest in Nepal. And it's just because I don't have the contacts in Bangladesh here that I did in Nepal, but it works. These students understand. They want to do something, but they just don't know what to do. And that's the whole idea, is what do you do? And so you need somebody who says, I know what to do. Let's do a walk, or let's do a car wash, or let's do a bake sale, or let's get some paint and paint, do something. And that's how it starts. But you know that because you're in the United States, and you might have even been involved in some philanthropy things in the United States. Were you involved in anything?
Yeah, I was in the Minnesota, and at my undergraduate studies, we did a walkathon, we car wash, and we sell chicken fried, particularly the legs. I used to do that for a 50 cents chicken legs. We used to sell $5 and send it back to Bangladesh, and it was a matching money with the Rotary Club of Winona. So I used to do the Rotaract Winona. I was a vice president there, and the Rotary Club, matches the money. We raise $2,000, they match double, 4,000, and then they send it to Bangladesh. So I did that very early in 1988 and 89.
That's great. If we could get the people from Rotaract in Bangladesh to do the same thing for Bangladesh.
Right.
Because I know Rotaract and I know Rotary Club. In fact, I invited Rotaract students from Mexico to be in this course tonight. I don't know if they're here or not, but it's late. It's midnight, after midnight there in Mexico. I know. So I doubt if they're up and doing this, but they understand Rotaract is a great organization.
We do have the Rotaract very much of in Bangladesh. They are very active and very large quantity amount of the Rotary clubs are not only in Dhaka, Chittagong, Rajshahi, all over the country.
So what I want to do in Dhaka, if that's where you all are, is to find an elementary school of students
Okay.
from 7 years old to 10, and to go in there with force, having college students learn how to do philanthropy and take it into the core, into their once a week for, let's say, 8 weeks, teaching children about giving and coming up with ideas and things that they can actually do right there in their own playground or right there in their own city with paint or with bags picking up trash or something to get them the idea you're doing something for the community. And we found that it changes their whole behavior because they get pats of the back and we say, thank you, give me a hug, because you did good. And they respond. And I want to do that in Bangladesh.
That will be great. That will be great. Sir, VC sir.
Thank you.
On behalf, yes, sir.
So sorry. Very nice. Yeah, very nice conversation with Bob Hopkins. Faruqi sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes.
Thank
VC sir can probably, I don't know how the programs are being set up, wrap up, or we have to let him go. It's almost midnight there, probably in the United States also, sir. So we know that.
Professor Faruqi, I think Professor Bob spent a lot of time with us, and
Right,
probably
sir.
it is the right time to say goodbye to him. And of
Exactly.
course, we enjoyed his discussion very much.
Yeah, it was 125 participants are all through the beginning to the end, listen to your words, and I'm sure our students and all the participants would get a benefit out of it. At least if they can execute one words of your in their life, that will be the success, and also success from us, that we can make your philosophy to transmit it into our young generations. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you once again, Professor Bob, for joining with us.
My pleasure. My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you.
Pooja, I
Sir.
think you can conclude the session.
Yes, sir. Sir, one thing left, just one thing. On the behalf of the conference committee, I would like to request the chairperson of the Department of Sociology and Anthropology, Dr. Abul Hussain, sir, to convey the vote of thanks.
Thanks a lot. First of all, Bob, because it is about 6 months I am contacting you. Just I promised to you, I brought you in Bangladesh physically, and I'll go to countryside. Many things we talked over WhatsApp. So finally, I think our VC sir, Vice Chancellor sir, he is a renowned person. Our Dean sir is here, Faruqi sir is here, and I see the other chairpersons of the Department of English and others are here. And I also see some of your colleagues, I know them from USA, they also joined here, your philanthropy groups. Yeah. So I would like to thank to all the participants here, and from the Department of Sociology and Anthropology, I must say the event is very fruitful, very vibrant. And finally, I want to convey my love, in fact, from the departments to all the participants. Thanks a lot.
Dear participants, our next session on society, education, and economy will be started at 12. You are all invited to join us. Thank you.
Sure.
So I guess I'll leave, right?
Yes. Professor Bob, you can leave now.
Okay. Thank you.